Hey guys, I hope you're all well today. Today we're going to start seeing a new story called The Son of Goku is the New Demon King. Vados finally revealed her love for Goku, and now she wants to have a child with the most powerful Saiyan. But a great consequence will happen, and a new Demon King will be born. But it seems that Chi-Chi got jealous, and now she also wants to have a child, and now you're going to see it. So having said all that, I hope you leave a lot of likes and comment if you want the continuation of this story. With all that done, grab your popcorn and coke and let's see this amazing story.
In the 6th universe. Currently in the 6th universe on the planet of the god of destruction, it was possible to see that Goku was in the sky with a serious expression as he looked at Kefla, who still felt the pain of having her shoulder dislocated by the blow from Goku, who was now using the power of the incomplete superior instinct. But even though it was the incomplete version of superior instinct, that power could already bring many to their knees just by feeling Goku's energy, which was too overwhelming, and having a serious expression on his face only made him more dangerous in the eyes of everyone in the place, including Kefla, who, like it or not, was intimidated by the energy that Goku was emanating. Kefla thought, damn, this energy that Goku is emanating is very intense, much more than at the time of the power tournament. In that battle, I felt a great amount of energy emanating from him, and it was very overwhelming. But Goku had not mastered this power yet. Just that now he has mastered this power, and that is why this energy he is emanating is much more intense and oppressive than at that time, thought Kefla while looking and feeling the energy that was being emanated from Goku, who had a very oppressive aura because of the power of superior instinct. Kefla said, "If you're going to fight for real, I'm going too." "Then let's fight seriously, Goku," said the fusion, soon releasing more of his energy, and then using the energy of the temporal leap causing some pink lines and veins to appear throughout her body, in addition to his eyes becoming a mixture of pink and green. Goku said, "Let's see how far this technique of yours can withstand my power now, Kefla," said the Saiyan while looking seriously at Kefla, who looked back at him seriously. Soon, Kefla disappeared and appeared in front of Goku, where she tried to hit the Saiyan with a kick, but Goku just doubled his body, dodging Kefla's spinning kick. And even though she didn't hit Goku, her kick ended up making the clouds that were behind of Goku disappear, as if they were never there. Composing himself quickly and returning to his straight body state, Goku punched Kefla, who, thanked his new technique, managed to predict Goku's attack, and thus managed to use one of his arms to defend himself from Goku's punch. And in that way, a close-range combat began, where Goku performed several attacks and dodged Kefla's attacks, and she performed several attacks and defended herself from Goku's, because Goku managed to dodge attacks without having to think about it. Kefla was already able to defend herself from attacks because she could predict Goku's movements due to the time skip energy embedded in her eyes. In this way, the battle was well balanced until Goku decided to end this balance when he shot a beam of light at Kefla, sending her away from the Saiyan, who then created some clones made of Ki, with a total of 6 Ki clones of Goku, that even without hearing any command from the real Son Goku, all 6 clones advanced towards Kefla, who got irritated with the clones that would disturb her a lot. Because she had not trained her eyes in a combat with many enemies at the same time, Kefla thought, Caulifla should have listened to Kale when she suggested that they train to use time skip power in the eyes against multiple enemies at once. Damn it, Kefla thought, as she dodged the Ki clones' attacks that, unlike the illusory clones, these could hurt her. They were weaker than the original Son Goku, but these clones weren't weak at all. All of Son Goku's clones were already facing Kefla, who was no longer able to defend herself from all attacks, because there were 6 clones at the same time. They were all attacking from different angles of the fusion, so Kefla could no longer follow the clones' attacks. But unfortunately for the fusion, the real Son Goku ended up joining his clones, and the blows of the real Goku were extremely strong, making Kefla bleed for the first time in that fight. Seeing that she was no longer able to maintain herself in that fight, Kefla tried to defend herself in every possible way, and as it was possible to defend herself from all the blows, in an explosion of rage for being cornered in that way, Kefla ended up creating an explosion of Ki around him, causing Goku's Ki clones to be eliminated, and this explosion ended up hurting Son Goku a little, for being too close to the explosion site, but nothing too serious. The Ki explosion made by Kefla was very useful, but unfortunately for her, it was very tiring too, making the fusion spend a great amount of energy that made her fall a little panting next to a tree trunk that should be in that place because of the energy of destruction caused by Goku and Kefla in their battle. Soon Goku began to approach Kefla, who, because she was very out of breath, was already thinking about giving up that battle. But that was not something she was going to do because she was the fusion of 2 very powerful Saiyans, the most powerful in the 6th universe, and both would be defeated so easily by a mere Saiyan from the 7th universe. When the Saiyan got close enough to Kefla, Goku raised his hand and prepared a ki ball and aimed it at Kefla. Goku said, "I think this battle is over, Kefla," said the Saiyan while pointing out his hand that had a sphere of ki to Kefla's head, who was still panting. The battle seemed to be over, but Goku ended up lowering his guard when he felt a twinge of pain in his arm because of the burn created by Kefla's ki explosion. But everyone who already thought that the battle was over changed their minds. When Kefla ended up taking the tree trunk that was next to him and used it to hit Son Goku, the Saiyan ended up colliding with several trees, until he stopped when he collided with a huge rock. Kefla said, "This battle will only end when I say it's over, and that will only happen when I'm the winner," said the Fusion while getting up and looking at Goku, who was letting go of the rock where he had hid because of Kefla's blow, which due to the enormous expenditure of his energy had returned to his base form. Goku said, "Since that's how we're going to fight at our true 100%, said the Saiyan while walking towards Kefla. He was no longer using his superior instinct. The Saiyan then took a seed from the gods and threw it to Kefla, who immediately ate it, and soon afterwards Goku took another seed of the gods and ate it, recovering all his energy. In the 6th universe. Currently on the planet of the gods of destruction of the 6th universe, it was possible to see Son Goku and Kefla fully recovered after both had eaten the seeds of the gods. Both Kefla and Goku were in their base form and looked at each other so far. But it didn't take long as both advanced towards each other, and soon a battle between the two Saiyans was started. Goku and Kefla engaged in a close-range combat, one that Kefla was apparently winning as the fusion was stronger than Goku in his base form. Because she was winning the battle, Kefla became more confident, and at that moment she ended up leaving a gap, and taking advantage of this gap, Goku managed to hit a hook into Kefla's abdomen and then punched her in the face, causing her to be thrown a few meters away. And to finish, Goku prepared a Kamehameha and teleported to Kefla's back and then fired his point-blank attack on Kefla's back. But Kefla ended up sinking her feet into the ground and then turned her body and punched Goku's Kamehameha, causing the attack to be thrown away, and then Kefla hit her back to remove the dust and to remove some of the smoke that had been formed when Goku's attack hit her in the back. Kefla, after recovering from Goku's Kamehameha, advances against the Saiyan, who was already ready to defend himself, and Kefla, when approaching, tries to hit Goku with a punch. But the Saiyan, with impressive mastery, grabbed Kefla's arm and threw her over the top of his shoulder, and then pulled her with everything to the ground, making the fusion hit her back. But Kefla didn't let it go unnoticed, because while the Saiyan was still holding Kefla's arm, she created a sphere of ki in his hand and fired at the face of the Saiyan, who ended up being injured, at that moment making him let go of Kefla's arm and walk away from her. After moving away from Kefla, the Saiyan wiped his face where he had been attacked by Kefla, and then Goku transformed into Super Saiyan 2 and advanced against Kefla, who had already gotten up, and seeing that the Saiyan was coming towards him, the fusion did the same thing and headed towards Goku. Once again, the Saiyans ended up clashing their fists and creating a small shockwave. Goku was winning the battle because he was stronger than Kefla. The Saiyan had turned into Super Saiyan 2 and Kefla was still in her base form, but she was still managing to fight Goku. Goku, taking advantage of his high speed, rained punches against Kefla, who was no longer able to keep up with the Saiyan, and then Goku managed to unbalance Kefla by kicking her leg, which made her lose her balance. Then Goku gave several blows at Kefla, and as a little revenge, Goku made a sphere of ki in his hand and shot at Kefla, but the attack ended up hitting her face, making her give a small moan of pain. Goku, seeing that Kefla was still a little unbalanced and with a little anger for having received a ki attack in his face, the Saiyan once again advanced against Kefla and started to throw some punches at her that she only defended herself, until Kefla transformed into Super Saiyan, making Goku move away a little and put his hand in front of his eyes so that the dust he had raised would not fall on them. Kefla, seeing that Goku was with his guard down, advanced towards him and hit him very hard in the abdomen, making him spit a good amount of saliva. Then the Saiyan went flying due to a spinning kick given by Kefla. Because of the strength of Kefla's kick, Goku ended up falling into the lake on the planet of the God of Destruction, making a lot of water come out. Kefla, not wanting to give Goku time to recover, began to fly at high speed into the lake. But in the next second, Kefla was flying and ended up crashing against a rock that was near the lake. Then the fusion looked at the lake and saw Son Goku come out of there in his Super Saiyan God form. Kefla quickly recovered and looked at Goku, but he was no longer above the lake, but in front of her. So Goku punched Kefla in the abdomen and then a hook, making the fusion take his feet off the ground, and Goku, still with feet on the ground, pointed his hand at Kefla and fired several spheres of ki that ended up forming a smokescreen that, when dissipated, reveals Kefla in her Super Saiyan form too. Goku started flying towards Kefla, who, unlike the other times, did not advance by retreating, flying to the small planets near the planet of the God of Destruction, and Goku, seeing that, just followed Kefla. Upon getting close to the planets, Goku stopped feeling Kefla's energy, but right after that, the Saiyan was shocked to see one of the planets coming towards him, and because they were too close, the Saiyan had to hold the planet. Kefla said congratulations on holding the first one, but what are you going to do about the second one? Said the fusion while lifting and throwing a planet that was bigger than the ones Goku was holding, and seeing that, Goku was very surprised with Kefla's strategy. Goku, because of the weight of the first planet, was not able to dodge the second and could only hold the weight of the second planet, and because of that, Goku transformed into Super Saiyan Blue in order to support both planets. Goku said, "Was that all that you had for me, Kefla?" said the Saiyan while looking at Kefla, who was flying high, and hearing the Saiyan's speech, she just smiled and went even higher. Goku, seeing the situation, wondered why she had done that until he felt something coming towards him at high speed, and looking up, Goku saw both planets being destroyed by something, and above Goku, Kefla was already using her new techniques and his body was full of veins and pink lines. The fusion had appeared after crossing the two planets and punched Goku, throwing him away, while the planets that were above were being destroyed, leaving several falling debris. Goku quickly composed himself, and around him were several pieces of debris from the two planets that were destroyed by Kefla, who took advantage of the falling pieces of debris and support and began to attack Goku from all sides possible. Goku at that moment was already powerless because his movements were restricted, and no matter where he looked, he could only see Kefla, who due to her extreme speed was leaving behind images, and this only increased because every time Kefla leaned on the wreckage of the two planets that were around the planet of the God of Destruction, and if it launched, it became even faster, thus preventing Goku from being able to defend himself or dodge his blows. Goku thought, "It looks like I'll have to use that power. I wasn't wanting to, and in reality, I don't even need to use it, but she needs to see my level of power so that she can strive to overcome me. They need someone to mirror and use with the objective of overcoming that person," thought the Saiyan while receiving Kefla's attacks. The Saiyan just gave a smile before returning to his base form. Goku had returned to his base form, which left Kefla confused, but in a few seconds the expression of confusion on his face was replaced by fear when he saw a huge pillar of white energy rise to the sky, and after a few seconds the pillar disappeared, and in the place where he was there was only Goku, who was now utilizing the full power of Superior Instinct. Goku, now using the power of Superior Instinct, simply swung his arm, and all the debris that was around him was destroyed by a strong wind pressure, something that made Kefla scared because Goku had just swung his arm and had already done all that. Even so, Kefla ignored her fear and advanced towards Goku and landed a punch on the Saiyan, but Goku didn't even feel Kefla's punch. The fusion felt like punching a steel wall, but Goku didn't leave it at that and landed a blow on Kefla's stomach, making her spit a large amount of blood. And then Goku just pointed his hand with an open palm towards Kefla, and then she felt a huge shock wave coming and hitting her, throwing her on the planet of the God of Destruction with extreme violence, creating a huge crater on that spot. Then it was possible to see Goku using the power of Superior Instinct in front of the huge crater, and at the bottom it was no longer Kefla but Caulifla and Kale, because Goku, before attacking Kefla, and removed Kefla's Potara earrings, and that way he had it ended with the fusion of the two Saiyans, who were now passed out inside the crater. Goku said, "This battle already has a winner, and that winner is me," said the Saiyan with a small smile on his face as he deactivated the power of Superior Instinct and returned to his base form. Currently on this planet of the God of Destruction of the 6th Universe, a few hours after Goku's battle against Caulifla and Kale, who were fused by the Potara earrings, becoming Kefla, it was possible to see everyone gathered inside the castle where Champa lived. Hit was gone because he just wanted to see how Caulifla and Kale's technique would be useful in a real battle, and for Hit that was an excellent test. Now, they were all waiting for Caulifla and Kale to wake up, except Goku, who was at the table full of dinner. The Saiyan ate everything that was on the table without even looking at what it was, because for him, all those foods were delicious. Goku thought, "This is still strange, but Chi-Chi's food is better than those Vados' food. Maybe it's because I ate Chi-Chi's food for so long," thought the Saiyan, while he devoured all those foods that were on the table, and he was still thinking about his human wife Chi-Chi's meals. While Goku ate fiercely together with Champa, who was taking advantage of Vados, making delicious food to surprise Son Goku. Caulifla and Kale, who had passed out after Goku beat Kefla, had finally woken up and were now standing in front of the entrance to the dining room. Seeing that both Saiyans were still a little stunned in relation to everything that had happened in the last few hours, Vados was willing to explain everything to them, leaving Caulifla a little irritated for not being able to beat Goku, and Kale surprised by Kefla even using all her strength along with their new technique. They couldn't even hurt Goku, who was using the power of complete Superior Instinct, and mainly because Kefla was defeated with just 2 moves. After all Vados' explanation, Caulifla and Kale sat down at the table and everyone ate a lot because Goku would start training the two Saiyans on the same day since both were already completely recovered, which made the two Saiyans very happy. Goku said that he would teach them Super Saiyan 3 when they were both ready, and they were ready for training, and that's why training would begin the same day so that Caulifla and Kale could transform into Super Saiyan 3. 2 months later. 2 months longer had passed since the day that Goku had arrived at the 6th universe and had his battle against Caulifla and Kale, and also against Kefla, and hours after the battle Goku had started training the two Saiyans. During the time, Goku not only trained Caulifla and Kale, but also traveled through the 6th universe alongside Vados, who made sure to present every corner of his universe to the Saiyan. During Caulifla and Kale's training, Kaba ended up appearing on the planet of the God of Destruction to find out the reason for the disappearance of his two Saiyan companions. But when he found out that they were training, he was happy, and Caulifla, wanting to show off her power, ended up showing that she was able to partially control the power of a Super Saiyan 3. Kaba, seeing that, got excited and ended up leaving everyone surprised when the Saiyan simply turned into Super Saiyan 3, making everyone, mainly Caulifla, be surprised by the evolution of Kaba, and Goku, who was surprised to discover that he had achieved that alone. And Caulifla, when seeing that, asked to battle against Kaba, who accepted the challenge. And to everyone's surprise, Kaba ended up winning the duel against Caulifla, showing that Saiyan was more powerful than anyone could imagine. After the 2 months of training, Caulifla and Kale were already much more powerful than before the training. They were already able to maintain the power of Super Saiyan 3 for hours. In addition, Goku had taught the two Saiyans the Kaioken, and Kale was the one that managed to control and dominate the Kaioken with more mastery than Caulifla. So after these 2 long months had passed, finally Goku's youngest son was born, the little one who was half angel and half Saiyan, and was an identical copy of Goten when he was a child, only he had white hair and red eyes similar to Goku's. Gohan, when he was using his bestial transformation, and what Goku found most strange was that his newborn son wouldn't stop crying, and not even Vados could calm him down, until Goku for some reason activated the power of complete superior instinct and took his son in his arms, who immediately stopped crying and began to doze off as if the energy of the superior instinct that Goku released calmed the young Saiyan, who ended up being called his son Kaido, since the son part in the boy's name came from Goku's family, and Kaido was the name of one of Vados' brothers who had been killed many years ago. And the birth of Son Kaido was something never seen before, because the powers that the body already had since his birth were unbelievable, and even Broly, who is the legendary Saiyan of the 7th universe, did not have as much power at his birth. And Kaido should be at least 100 times more powerful than Broly was at birth. And as previously promised, Goku, after the birth of his son, went with Vados and Kaido to the 7th universe, where everyone was very happy and surprised that Kaido was almost a captain of his 2 older brothers. There was only one small problem. Kaido was very violent. Vegeta had said that it was because of the Saiyan's instinct, and the Saiyans of the 7th universe were naturally violent, and that's why he acted that way. Only when Goku approached his son using the power of the complete superior instinct, he automatically calmed down and became very docile, looking like a little angel, which made Goku spend a long time using the power of the complete superior instinct, which with time made him be using this power or not, it was nothing to Son Goku. But the strange thing was that Kaido, for some reason, calmed down when he was with Chi-Chi, and that was something that ended up making Vados angry, because not even she could calm her son Kaido's Saiyan instincts. As the months went by, Kaido was growing at a much faster rate than a normal child, and that was something normal since he was half an angel, and since angels don't grow like mortals, they just appear grown up. Because of that, Kaido's rapid growth was natural, but Whis made the decision to slow down this growth rate because the more Kaido grew, the stronger he became, and since he didn't have time to train, Kaido wouldn't be able to control his powers if he lost his temper. So 6 months after his birth, Kaido already had the height and appearance of a 12-year-old child, and was already the same size as his niece Pan. And as Goku had promised Chi-Chi, when the Saiyan returned, he no longer abandoned her to train. In reality, he only trained his son to be able to control his powers, and taking advantage of that moment, Goku also trained his granddaughter Pan, who was very happy to be trained by her grandfather, and for being able to train alongside her uncle, who most of the time was proud and arrogant with her, and the others around her. Something that made people think they were seeing an old version of Vegeta when he came to Earth for the first time. Vegeta even found Kaido interesting for being a true Saiyan. And after a few more weeks, Chi-Chi ended up giving birth, and this time it was a girl very similar to her mother. There was only one detail: the little girl had white hair, and not black like her parents. And the reason was simple, because according to GOKU'S, Goku, for being practically the entire gestation of the child, using the power of complete superior instinct and constantly sending his own energy to his wife's womb, making the girl absorb her father's energy, which left Chi-Chi slightly angry, because once again, one of his sons would be taken into some future combat. The son Kaido, seeing his new little sister for some reason, became very attached to the younger one because they both had a similar appearance. The girl, who was called Son Kiara, had silver eyes similar to her father's when he was using the power of superior instinct, and moreover both brothers had white hair and possessed great power since their birth. Only that was a reason for pure happiness for the angels and for Goku's family and friends, but for Whis, that wasn't something very good, and he wasn't referring to Kiara but Kaido. The angel looked at Kaido and felt the danger in the future and what Kaido would do in it. As for Kiara, he could feel a good energy coming from the girl, who probably would not be a warrior like her father and brothers, but like Gohan, she had a great hidden potential, and if necessary, the girl would become a warrior to protect her family and friends. In the world of demons. Currently in the world of demons, after the birth of Son Kaido, it was possible to see that the world was in celebration, as Mechi Kabura had spoken about the prophecy of the future king of demons, and with the news that Kaido was born with enormous power, it was something that made the whole world of demons join in a party. But among all those who were present at the party, Mira was not at all happy with the birth of Kaido. Because for him, Kaido was a threat that should be eliminated as soon as possible, and that it was noticed by Mikio that he wanted to see how far Mira would go, and how far Kaido's power would go even as a child. Mikio thought, "Mira, my friend, are you really wanting to kill a poor child just because the future he will be your king?" Kaido is still not ready to face Mira, but are these Saiyans from this world strong enough to face Mira? I already know. I'll send Mira and other demons to fight Kaido, and when I realize he's too weak, he'll want power, and I'll help him conquer that power, and with time and patience, he'll side with the demons. Mikio thought while looking at Mira in the corner of the party, which was taking place in the castle, and next to Mira was Toa, who was drinking a glass of wine and reading a book. Mikio thought, but from what I've seen, he's not going to abandon or kill that human Chi-Chi, his mother Vados, his younger sister Son Kiara, and maybe his father Son Goku, but Mira can solve that by killing everyone, but the human and his sister, because he likes these two too much, and if they died, he could hate the demons and not become our king. Thought the demon, already planning who he should kill to make Kaido go after power. Go after him more precisely. And who would not be killed, because if these people died, Kaido would be against the demons. In the 7th universe. A few more days had passed after the birth of the youngest daughter of the Saiyan Son Goku, and this girl was called Son Kira. And, like her half-brother Son Kaido, both had great power in addition to having a similar appearance. Apart from the Fado, Kaido had a pair of black wings, but he had to train to keep his wings because for humans, that would be frowned upon. After all, humans tend to criticize before knowing others. With a few more days of training, Son Kaido managed to hide his wings, and with that Chi-Chi had the idea of putting Kaido in a school, which would be the same school where his granddaughter Pan would be studying, and with the help of her best friend Bulma, Kaido would study in the same room as Pan. And with the girl, they could help her uncle adapt to school and learn how humans act. At Goku's family residence. Currently at Goku's family residence, it was possible to see Chi-Chi helping Kaido with his school uniform, and the white-haired Saiyan did not understand why he had to go to a place full of human children if he's not even a human. Kaido spoke. "Why do I have to go to this place called school? I'm not even human like these guys," asked the Saiyan while looking at Chi-Chi, who was finishing putting the school uniform on Kaido. Chi-Chi said, "Because you are still a child, and like any child you should go to school, and there you will be able to make friends. And besides that, you will learn many things that you can find boring. But it will be important, and in the future you will thank me," said the woman with black hair, finishing adjusting the uniform of the red-eyed albino. Chi-Chi said, "But I won't make you go to school. Look at your father. He never went to school. If you want to be like him, you don't have to go to school," said the woman, referring to her husband who was taking care of their new daughter Kiara. Kaido spoke. "Going to school doesn't seem like a bad idea right now. Do I go alone, or do I have to wait for that girl named Pan?" said the red-eyed albino while looking at his father, Son Goku, something that made Chi-Chi give a short laugh. Chi-Chi said, "Well then, Pan will take you to school, and don't call her that girl. She is your niece, so you must take care of her and obey her while you're at school," Chi-Chi said while looking at Kaido. And after a few seconds, the door closed being opened was Pan, who had her backpack on her back and wearing the uniform of the school where they were going to study. Pan said, "Good morning, Grandpa and Grandpa. Uncle Kaido, we have to go soon, otherwise we'll be late. And as it's your first day of school, you should arrive early, said the girl approaching Kaido, who had a neutral expression. Kaido spoke. That's right. Bye, Mom, an old man, said the red-eyed albino, saying goodbye to his family, and soon leaving flying with Pan, and Kaido was using his wings to fly. Not because he had to, but because he liked the feel of the wind in his wings. It didn't take long for the two children to arrive at school, where many noticed the color of Kaido's hair and eyes, because white hair and red eyes drew a lot of attention. Soon the two Saiyans arrived at the classroom where Kaido had to introduce himself, and then he sat next to Pan and paid attention to the class. But beyond her, he also managed to hear some students talking about him and the color of his hair and eyes, something he learned to ignore such comments on Chi-Chi's orders. After the end of the class, Kaido stayed in his place reading the books he would have to use throughout the year, but soon his peace ended when some boys approached him and knocked on his desk to get his attention. Kaido said, "Do you need anything, or did you just knock my table because you thought it would be fun?" said the boy in a neutral tone, still reading his book without worrying about the boys beside him. Boy 1 said, "Yes, we need you to leave my place," said the leader of the group of children to the albino, who found that a bit childish even for a child. Kaido said, "I don't remember seeing your name written on the chair, and when I arrived there was no one there. So if possible, could you stop disturbing me, because I'm trying to understand the content of this book," said the white-haired Saiyan to the human children, who were irritated by his neutral tone. Boy 1 said, "Well, don't complain, because you are the one who pissed me off, and you deserve it," said the boy before trying to punch Kaido. Kaido, seeing the punch coming toward him, didn't react, because for him, the boy was so slow that it wasn't worth dodging the punch. So he received the boy's punch in the face, but Kaido didn't even react. But the boy who had punched him started complaining about the pain in his fist, because for him, punching Kaido was the same thing as punching a concrete slab. Boy 2 and 3 said, "Boss, now you bastard," said both boys, already going up to Kaido, but this time the Saiyan just took 2 balls of paper that were on his table and threw them at the 2 boys, who ended up fainting due to the force at which they were hit, leaving everyone in the classroom impressed, and those who had spoken ill of him were afraid. Boy 1 spoke, "Who do you think you are to hit me and my friends? I'm going to tell my big brother everything, and he's going to come and beat you up. Wait and see," said the boy, soon picking up his 2 friends and leaving the place. Kaido thought, is that what just happened? The kind of bully who tried to intimidate the newbie? But the rookie ends up beating him, and then he comes back with the group to beat up the rookie. It's similar to the scenes I saw in the series with Mom. Well, whatever. They'll never be able to hurt me, thought the albino, soon returning to focus on his books. Hours later. A few hours had passed, and together with them, the classes had ended, and now Pan and Kaido were leaving school, and they would go to their houses. It didn't take long for both of them to arrive at Pan's house, and soon Kaido separated from her and went to his house. But first he would have to solve the problems with certain people who had been following him for a long time. Kaido said, "Look, I don't like to be followed, so come here so I can finish you off at once," said the calm boy as he turned around and looked at the boys he had defeated earlier along with other older boys. Older boy said, "You must be the boy who hit my little brother and his friends earlier, and not only that, you also, on your first day of school, accompanied his future girlfriend to her house. You brat, today me and my friends will have to teach you good manners. I hope you don't scream for help." "Haha," said the older boy while snapping his fingers and having a few laughs with his friends. Kaido said, "Sorry, I'm not the one who needs to ask for help. You're going to need help," said the Saiyan in a neutral tone that soon became a bit demonic. Even more so when he gave a small sadistic smile, and an aura reddish light began to emanate from him. On Universe 7's God of Destruction planet. Currently on the planet of the God of Destruction, it was possible to see Beerus taking a vitamin, and next to him was Whis, who was eating some instant noodles, and it didn't take long for Beerus to speak because he realized that his angel was strange since the day son Kaido was born. Beerus said, "What's up, Whis? You had that worried look on your face for a few months now." "What is worrying you so much?" spoke the God of Destruction to his master and friend, but he already knew the reason and just needed a confirmation. Whis said, "I'm worried about my nephew's son Kaido. I don't care about his well-being, but what he can and will do in the future. He has a power that must surpass that of all the gods of destruction, and if you doubt the angels too," said the angel to his god of undoing. Beerus said, "So I'm not the only one who thinks this way," said the God of Destruction, attracting the attention of his angel. Whis said, "I don't understand." "What do you mean by that, Mr. Beerus?" he asked the angel to his God of Destruction. Beerus said, "The day they announced that Vados and Goku would have a child, I felt that something was going to happen, and after his birth I was sure. That boy is not normal, and he will bring a lot of problems to us in the future, said the god of destruction with a serious look. Returning to planet Earth. Currently on planet Earth, in a further location, it was possible to see several bodies of young people dead on the ground that was full of blood, and among them was Kaido, standing holding the boy who had bothered him earlier, and the Saiyan was holding the boy by the neck. The boy said, "Please, don't kill me. I swear I'll never bother you again." The boy implored the Saiyan, who just smiled. Kaido said, "Sorry, but I don't like to be bothered, and I can't leave you alive. I don't like leaving loose ends. Now die," said the Saiyan, creating a key sphere in his hand and pointing to the boy's head, who would try to scream, but at the same time, everything ended up being exploded by Kaido's key attack. Kaido said, "It's a good thing I used a key barrier around my clothes. Otherwise, Mama Chi-Chi would want to know why she's full of blood and would be annoyed with me. Well, let's go home. I'm hungry, and I want to see my little sister," said the Saiyan, giving a small smile and then releasing his black wings and leaving the place where he had been eliminating those young people without the slightest mercy or empathy. In the 7th universe. A few days had passed since the day that Kaido had eliminated the boys that had irritated him, and currently, more precisely, in Son Goku's house, it was possible to see the Saiyan in his active superior instinct form training with his son Kaido. He was trying to land a blow on Goku, who dodged or parried Kaido's blows. Goku said, "Kaido, when facing an opponent stronger than you, don't try to dispute your strength against his. Try to use his strength against himself, and if he's faster than you, then be smarter and create a plan to corner him. And when you do that, you attack him," said the oldest Saiyan, dodging his son's blows, and in the end knocking him to the ground. Kaido spoke. "I already know that," said the little Saiyan in a higher tone, showing that he was irritated. Goku said, "If you already know about these things, then why do you still make the same mistakes?" asked the oldest Saiyan to his son. Kaido said, "That way it's easier for you to let your guard down so I can do this," said the boy, getting up and advancing towards his father, hitting him with a punch on the side of Goku's face. Goku said, Ay, that punch hurt, you know," said the Saiyan while smoothing the place where he had taken the punch from Kaido, who was now smiling. Kaido spoke, "First rule of combat, never let your guard down against your opponent, because he might end up attacking you when you least expect it. That was one of the first things you taught me, but you always let your guard down when you fight me, so I'm not the only one who makes mistakes," said the little Saiyan to his father, who just sighed. After all, his son was right. Goku thought, "Kaido is more like Chi-Chi every day. Should I worry about that? No, I don't think so. But I think it bothers Vados, as she told me that Kaido was very anxious to go back to the 7th universe to see Kiara and Chi-Chi. I was a little sad when he said that he only came back to see them, but what to do, thought the oldest Saiyan as he looked at his son and at his wife, who was arriving at the scene. Kaido said, "Hi, Mom," said the boy, approaching his human mother and hugging her legs. Chi-Chi said, "Hi, my son. I came here to invite you two to eat together. I hope today's training has been profitable," said the woman while gently caressing the hair of her son from another mother. Goku said, "Today's training was profitable. Kaido ended up making me let my guard down, and when I least expected it, Kaido punched me. A very strong punch for someone his age," said the older Saiyan as he approached his wife and kissed her. Chi-Chi said, "Congratulations, son. I know that hitting your father is a very difficult task, even more so when he looks like that," said the woman while congratulating the youngest Saiyan and giving his youngest daughter to Goku, who had already returned to his base form. Kaido said, "You are incredible, because no matter what form the old man is using, you always manage to accept him," said the little Saiyan while looking at Chi-Chi, who ended up laughing slightly at the statement. Chi-Chi said, "Maybe I'm your father's weakness, and that must be why he never managed to dodge my attacks," said the woman while laughing a little, which was accompanied by the rest of the family. It didn't take long for the daughter to get home, and soon everyone started eating. Goku and Kaido ate a lot, something quite normal for Saiyans, but what left the two Saiyans most impressed was the fact that Kiara ate more than the two, even though she's still a baby. After the whole family finished lunch, Goku went to take care of Kiara, while Chi-Chi went to wash the dishes. Kaido went to set the table, and after everyone finished their chores, they stayed in the living room and started watching television, until the news ended up on the television. It was something that attracted the attention of the entire family, especially Chi-Chi. A journalist spoke on television, "Good morning, my dear viewers. Today I came to report on a case of some students who had disappeared a few days ago. Some students from a school nearby went to class, but never returned to their homes. Some had said that they had fled, and others had said that they were just making fun, but the reality is different," said the reporter, getting a sadder face at the end. A journalist spoke on television. The police officers who were on the case were not finding any clues, until one of the policemen ended up finding much more than a clue. He managed to find the young people, but they were already dead, said the journalist as he approached the said policeman who found the bodies of the young people. The journalist spoke on television. We are all here with the policeman Krillin, who was responsible for finding the young people. Master Krillin, could you tell us what you saw when you arrived at the place? Said the journalist, putting the microphone closer to Krillin so he could speak. Krillin spoke on television. When I arrived at the scene, I saw that all the young people were dead and that they had been killed in a brutal way. One of them did not have a head, and unfortunately, all of them were dead when I arrived at the scene. The policeman spoke with a sad look as he looked at the cameraman. Krillin spoke on television. This is all I can tell you so far. We are investigating to try to find the culprit of this crime. Until then, the school where they studied will be closed until the end of the investigations. That's all. Now I need to go, said the policeman, leaving near the journalist and going close to the other policeman. The journalist spoke on television. Well, as stated by the police officer, Krillin, they still don't have any clues about who the murderer was or what was his motivation for carrying out such a crime. For all parents who have their children studying at this school, it will be closed, and there will be no classes during the investigation. When new information is released, we will tell you. Have a good day, said the journalist, ending the article about the death of young students. Returning to Son Goku's family home, it was possible to see that everyone was in shock. After all, that was the same school where Kaido and Pan studied, and seeing that scene left Chi-Chi worried about her granddaughter Pan and her son from another mother, Kaido. Goku said, "Isn't this the school where Kaido and Pan are studying?" asked the Saiyan while looking at his wife. Kaido said, "Yes, this is the school I'm currently studying in." "Well, on the bright side, I won't have classes for a while," said the boy without showing any emotions, as if he didn't care about their deaths. And in reality, Kaido didn't care. After all, he was the one who killed them. Chi-Chi spoke, "Don't talk like that, Kaido. They were your colleagues. Even if you don't know or don't like them, you must at least feel sad about it," said the woman while looking at the little Saiyan. Kaido said, "Well, leaving that aside, I have to go to Pan's house to do a job they sent us to do yesterday. Even if it's going to take a while for classes to start again, I want to finish it soon. So I'm going to my brother Gohan's," said the little Saiyan, taking his small backpack and flying to his older brother's house. Hours had already passed and Kaido had finished doing his work with Pan. Now Kaido was flying to her house when he suddenly heard the voice of a certain god of destruction. Beerus said, "Stand there, son Kaido. I need to talk to you now," said the god of destruction, looking seriously at the son of Son Goku and Vados. Kaido spoke, "What do you want to talk to me about, Beerus? I have to go home soon, because my mother is waiting for me and I'm hungry. So please be brief," said the little Saiyan, turning around and facing the god of destruction. Beerus spoke, "I know that you were responsible for the death of those young humans who studied at the same school as you. Why did you do that? What motivated you to kill them?" said the god of destruction with a serious expression on his face. Kaido spoke, "They pissed me off. A bunch of weak humans who don't even know their place in the universe, raising their voices and acting with authority with someone like me, son of an angel with the strongest mortal in the 7th universe. Because I am beyond human understanding, they should act like them? I'm not a human and never will be," said the white-haired Saiyan, serious to Beerus. Beerus said, "Then I'll have to talk to your parents about this. I wonder how Goku's wife, the woman you call mother, will react to your actions," said the god of destruction, who started flying towards the house from Goku. Kaido said, "You won't say anything to her," said the Saiyan, flying at high speed towards Beerus. And use his speed, Kaido pushes Beerus, causing him to be thrown against a mountain. Beerus crossed it and landed on the ground without a single scratch. Beerus, after landing on the ground, went to the side, dodging a blow from Kaido. Then Beerus tried to knee in Kaido's abdomen, who managed to hold the knee. Then the Saiyan managed to punch Beerus in the chin, who stayed slightly shaken. Kaido, taking advantage of Beerus being slightly stunned, tried to kick him, but Beerus held his leg and, using his strength, started hitting the Saiyan, who because of the several blows ended up passing out. Beerus said, "This kid is dangerous. Kaido is strong at that level now, and he hasn't even learned how to use his powers properly yet. His hidden power will surpass that of all the gods of destruction, and even the angels. Maybe he will become as strong as the High Priest, or even stronger than him," said the god of destruction, while holding his own chin, feeling the pain of the blow he had taken.